Hey you, I'm Sarah Turner. I'm a freelance medical copywriter and a copywriting mentor. And today I'm going to share with you something I will never forget, and that is my first monster client. And I say that with affection because I learned so much through this one client that I could have never possibly learned all these lessons as quickly as I did with her. So, this is something I actually really believe is that, each time you have a monster client, it is a learning opportunity. It's going to be the thing that makes you stick to your guns and stick to your policies that you put in place, unlike anything else. I have a lot of recommendations that I give my students, like collect a 50% deposit up front before you write anything. And so often they will, be too scared to ask for that 50% deposit. When I was there once, there were so many times where I just wrote on good faith, hoping that they would pay me. But that first time you have a difficult time getting payment after you've done a ton of work, you will not make that mistake again, my dear, I promise. So, with that in mind, I'm going to share with you it was my first, affectionately I call monster client. And I was so excited to work with her, which made me just completely drop all of the things that I knew I should do because I wanted to work with her. I wanted her to like me. I wanted her to give me recommendations to other people in the industry. I figured she had a really great online presence, so I thought she would be a pleasure to work with. And I just literally threw out all my rules out the window. So most of the troubles that we came across or whatever working together could have been prevented, although I'm not sure all of them could have been prevented. But it definitely made me stick to my rules a lot more strictly from there. So just to give you a little background, again, she was huge in my niche. She was a big name. I thought she was going to be, I don't know, I just thought she was going to really help propel my career forward. So I reached out to her via cold email. She was like, sure, let's do it. What are your pricing? I told her that she would get a little bit better rate if she did a bundle or a monthly retainer. It wasn't a bundle, it was a monthly retainer. And the agreement with a monthly retainer is that the work is gonna mostly fit into a month. And that is how you are able to schedule your time. And because that's part of it, you need to block out your time so that you have enough time to do all the work that you're committed to. You don't overbook yourself or overstretch yourself. So she opted for my biggest monthly retainer. I was super stoked, and that was my first mistake. Normally, I recommend that I always work on a test project with all new clients, no matter how big they are. And this is because it gives us a chance to not only see if they like me, because especially if you're reaching out via cold email and they're like, who are you, strange person? I don't know if I want to work with you. You can say, hey, guess what? We're just going to do this little baby article or this little baby website page. And that's how we can see if we like each other's rhythm, if we like each other's vibe. And it's a test, it's kind of an easy win that is for you. And it gives you a chance to kind of start to build that relationship, because that is really the name of the game here, is building relationships. So totally threw that out the window. That was my first mistake. Then I didn't ask for the 50% up front because she was really busy and I believed her. Maybe she was, I don't know. And then I didn't enforce my editing guidelines, meaning when I turn around a project, I tell them that they have a week or two to get me back edits. And this prevents things from getting dragged out forever. I also didn't set clear boundaries, I was so excited. I kind of dropped back into that employee mindset, kind of let her push me around. Didn't make the recommendations I would normally make, was a little less confident in sticking to just what I know to be best practices. So I totally acted like an employee, didn't set clear boundaries, let her kind of walk all over me. I was like, whatever, she's huge, this is going to be awesome. She's picked my biggest retainer package. And then come to find out, she did that just to save money. She had zero intention of following, kind of my process, which was, to do X number of pieces per week for her to turn it around fast enough. And again, I didn't have that 50% deposit up front. So the way this played out was I got going. I just started, she agreed to it. I thought we were good to go. And I started working on all the things we agreed on, started chipping away on the schedule that I laid out in the proposal after our first call. And as we were going through, she wasn't giving me any feedback. I was like kind of trying to ask for the 50% deposit up front. It was getting to that point where I was feeling really obnoxious. I still wasn't using FreshBooks at that time, which would have probably helped because that allows you to go ahead and send invoice reminders without it looking like it's coming from you. It looks automated a little bit. And so I'm like cranking away at like one of, my biggest retainers to date at that point in time. And it was kind of like crickets. And I was just like, oh, what's happening here? And then 2 months later, no joke, after it was all wrapped up, she finally paid me 50%, the deposit, not the full amount. And I just like couldn't get her to respond. Then she brought on somebody who was going to be like her, I guess her like administrative assistant or something like that, to help her with stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe, she really is busy and this is all that's happening. We'll work this out in the future. This person then jumped in and basically asked me to rewrite everything. And her reasoning for it was not great. It was, basically she kind of went through, with a red pen and just like rewrote like word, like line after line after line. But the thing is I have gotten, over time I've toughened up and I can take some pretty good feedback. But her feedback didn't really have any reasoning other than she liked the way she worded things better. And she was so rude. So remember, this wasn't the client that was rude. This was this new person she hired who was new to her. And she was so rude to me, just extremely condescending, very rude. And then on top of it, we were like 3 months past this monthly retainer thing, and I still didn't have the final 50%. So I finally reached out to the client and I was like, look, the second half is due at the first, when the final piece is done. So this was supposed to be a monthly retainer, Also, I outlined the editing guidelines, that there needed to be a 1 to 2 week turnaround time on edits. We're now like 2 months out. And on top of it, I'm super excited that you brought on somebody who is very helpful for you, but she is, I don't really see the reasoning behind some of her edits, and quite frankly, she's a little condescending and difficult to work with. And I was so scared to send that last part, but I kept reminding myself, I did this to help people, help businesses, help brands that I love, and also so it was an enjoyable life for me. And this woman was making my life a living hell. Like, no joke. I don't even know how to like emphasize how awful it was. I was dreading to check my email inbox. And so it was starting to like trickle into all my other work because I was just dreading my work because of this one person. So she did apologize. She paid the 50%, like second half of the 50%. And she jumped in to check the edits and started like cleaning it up. And then it got to the point where I refused to edit the last 2 pieces because we were getting into the 4-month mark. And I was like, guys, this is 4 months late after what we agreed upon. And my schedule is fully booked. I'm happy to do edits for this price, and then I kind of had to reclaim my business mindset and relationship with them. It was so bad that she asked for another like retainer and I said no. And that was a really scary moment for me because I needed the money. I needed the money so bad. But it was so awful that I knew, and I kept reminding myself of this. This is something that's really good. Like, anytime you're spending your energy and time on a client who is condescending or treats you like crap, that is time and energy plus some, because it's exhausting, extra exhausting. It's time and energy you can't spend on finding better clients, on working with ideal clients, and on working with clients that truly appreciate you and work like a team. So I politely declined. Again, always trying to be polite as possible because she is within my niche and she is a big name. But it was a huge turning point for me. One, it reminded me to set some serious boundaries. I never start working with a client without doing a small test project first. I never ever jump into a retainer. I never start work without getting 50% at least up front. And I really strongly enforce my editing guidelines, meaning they cannot drag out for 4 months. That just wrecks your whole schedule moving forward. And I'm very clear about setting boundaries, and I don't act like an employee when I engage with new clients. So the thing about these monster clients is they are serious learning experiences. They have made it so that I don't compromise on any of those things anymore. So when you come across a monster client, keep in mind that you're never going to put up with it again, or hopefully. That's the real hope here, is that you will learn from it. You won't compromise on the things you know are the best, policies to have in place to run your business effectively. So we all have those stories, and it's part of the learning process. And like I said, sometimes it takes a monster client to get you to really stick to your guns. So I hope that helps. You can learn from my mistake. You totally don't have to go into that yourself. But I want to say, there's no need to also have kind of a pompous attitude when dealing with clients. Sometimes clients make mistakes, sometimes they do get busy. Sometimes life does happen. So definitely don't want to be one of those copywriters who's super arrogant and condescending yourself. Don't need to do that either. But yeah, totally learn from my mistakes so that you don't have to have that happen to you. Anyway, I hope this helps. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you liked it. If you want to hear more stories like this, drop some comments for me. Let me know if you've had a monster client. I want to hear about it. They're pretty fun to talk about. We learn a lot from them. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will be releasing videos weekly. Thanks, guys.